This is Theremin 30. 30 minutes of Theremin music, news, events, and interviews with a new episode about every 30 days. Now, here's your host from Chicago, Illinois, Rick Reid.
Hey, welcome to the July 2024 episode of the Theremin 30 podcast. This time around, I've got new Theremin music from the Netherlands, Peru, Finland, and Singapore. My special guest is Shueh-li Ong, here to talk about her new album called MissOriented Metaphor. And if I sound a little spaced out today, I'm just having trouble getting back into a good sleep schedule. I recently traveled to Denmark to spend a week with a bunch of theremin playing friends from, I think, 11 different countries. And between jet lag, exploring Copenhagen late into the evenings, and the very short nights in the Scandinavian summertime, I didn't get much sleep, at least not at the right times. Even a week later, I'm still feeling it. But I think I can manage to stay awake for the next 30 minutes. I hope you can too. So let's get started. In just a bit, I'll play a track featuring Wilco Botermans on theremin. First, though, I have new music from Veronique. When I interviewed her for the October 2021 episode of the Theremin 30 podcast, she told us about a new album she was working on at the time. She's released a couple of singles from the project since then, but now the full album, Ilusiones Peligrosas, is out on her Bandcamp page, Spotify, and other streaming outlets. In my poorly pronounced Spanish, this track coming up is called Canción para un Regreso, and according to Google Translate, that means Song for a Comeback.
deze stoel leg ik mijn hand. Wanneer ik strijk, zuigt de warmte aan mijn vel om in me te gaan. Het vel is dun en koud van het weer. Daaronder stroomt het warm, maar koeler dan de stoel om in me te gaan.
We started the show with the Peruvian recording artist Veronique with Song for a Comeback. It's a track from her new album Ilusiones Peligrosas, or Dangerous Illusions. If you go to this month's show notes at Theremin30.com and click on her name, you'll go right to her Bandcamp page where you can listen to and purchase the full album. And after that, I played a track called Op die Stoel, or On This Stool, from the eclectic Dutch band Overlanders, featuring guest musicians Vilko Botermans on theremin and Joris Vermeulen on a double reed instrument called a tenora. To hear more music from Overlanders, click on their name in this month's show notes. It's time now for the Theremin 30 calendar of Theremin events. Lydia Kavanagh continues her online group Theremin classes on most Sundays. On July 18th, Modulite featuring thereminist Chris Conway and sound artist Jez Creek will perform at the Church of Sound event in Nottingham, England. July 23rd is the birthday of the late great Dr. Samuel Hoffman. Commemorate the day by watching a movie featuring his theremin in the score. On July 25th, Noritaka Ubukata performs with his custom-made theresin in Tokyo, and Stephen Ham has a gig in Vancouver, BC, Canada. For details about these events and more, check out the full calendar at Theremin30.com. And if you have an event you'd like me to place on the calendar, contact me through the website. Let's get back to the music now with a single from Kepa Lehtinen that came out about 3 months ago, but I haven't had a chance to play it until now. This is called Unet in Finnish or Dreams in English. That was Unet, or Dreams, by Finnish composer and thereminist Kepa Lehtinen. You can see the official music video for that song on the Theremin 30 YouTube playlist. Just search for Theremin 30 on YouTube or follow the link in this month's show notes. Shueh-li Ong is a multi-continental, multi-instrumentalist with not one but 2 live streaming shows on YouTube, and she just released her 5th studio album, MissOriented Metaphor. I visited with Shueh-li recently to find out all about it. Shueh-li Ong, it's so good to see you again, actually hear you again on the Theremin 30 podcast.
Thanks, Rick. So good to see you and hear you too. It's been a few years, but always glad to see your smiling face.
It's been about 3 years since you've been on the show, and back then we talked about your musical history and how you got involved in the theremin, so I don't want to repeat that, but I do want to find out what you've been doing since then.
Well, in the last few years, I've endeavored to experiment with different ways in which I could articulate the voice of the theremin. And it was a slow kind of assembly because there was a lot of playing around with until I got something that I went, I could use this. So it's been a while since I released an album. I thought, why not consolidate these experiments in new composition and then further develop them as I put them together as I went along. And I wanted to also create a repertoire of original music. You probably know this, I have a degree in piano performance and I did study synth techniques during my postgrad period. So I'm naturally inclined towards live performance. It's kind of like, kids in the playground. I like to play.
Yeah, I've seen some videos on your YouTube channel where you collaborated with some of the musicians that I think are on the new album, sort of the early development of some of these tracks.
I was road testing these works for venue, versatility, and playability with live musicians again, because I wanted to make sure these could be executed live. And again, these pieces were really more for my live performance repertoire. But, you know, people like to receive, my fans and friends like to receive these finished works in a recorded version. So hence the album. And that seems to be the way musicians do it. They write, they record it, and then they play it. So, but I wanted to play it and then record it. A friend of mine, bassist Brian Mooney, who appears on the album, he had reached out to me to work with me in live performance. So he played the first gig with me on the New Jersey Prog House Music Series in 2018. And I enjoyed working with him live and on my music video so much. And I said to Brian, you know, these are new pieces. Would you like to play on the music video with me as, you know, version 1? So I had like a recording or a document of what I had done. And he said, sure, and I enjoyed his working with him so much. He repeated his performance, so to speak, on the album. And guitarist Dean Parks, he didn't appear on my music videos for this album, but he had worked with me before on my third album, which was written under my moniker Xenovibes. And when he recorded on my third album, Crossing Paths, I became such a fan of his excellence. And I've not met another musician like him. I plotted to have him appear on this fifth album, MissOriented Metaphor.
The album title is MissOriented Metaphor?
Yes.
What does that mean?
MissOriented Metaphor was nicknamed the concerto. So it began as a concerto because I had in mind it would be an instrumental with the soloists being the theremin, the synthesizer, and I had a tin whistle in there as well against luscious orchestrations, you know, as you would imagine a concerto would be. The title plays on the words oriental, disoriented, and the Cassandra metaphor, which in Greek mythology, Cassandra is the daughter of Troy, and she was given the gift of prophecy but cursed with having her prophecies disbelieved.
You play multiple instruments and you're playing with the band this time. Did you record together in the same room at the same time, or is this a multi-track thing that was done remotely?
I wanted this album to feature a few of my friends, and because of the nature of the genres and the style in which the tracks, I call them movements because it's supposed to be a concerto, each movement has different sections to it, and they span several genres. So I wanted a real person's appearance to kind of tackle these changes, these transitions, but they would follow my written score, but in certain parts they would imbue their lines with their own take on things. For a drummer it'd be fills, for bass players similarly, and of course I had a guitarist, the one and only Dean Parks, where lines were written for him of certain guitar sounds that I was looking for, but others where I said just do what you feel you hear in whatever genre it is that we're working in. E.g., I'd say this will be stadium rock in feel, you know. But he's had 6, almost 7 decades of experience, so no big deal. And there was one part in the finale where I said, you know, this is your solo cadenza. I'd like you to be flamboyant. Dean and I recorded remotely, but in real time. So he looked at me and he said, you asked for it. The other musicians recorded independently of me, but again I had directions and I had my demo. So my method of writing is I record straight into my DAW, and I play the instrumental lines the way I would want to hear it in my finished product. Bear in mind, these pieces must be playable live. All those things that you hear, those will be reproduced live.
Now, speaking of live performance, the way you're releasing this album is non-conventional, non-traditional as well.
Well, I've been running this live stream that features friends and friends of friends in the music an entertainment industry called Music and Chat, and Rick, you and I talked about that previously. So I thought, well, I have my viewership there already, and these are the people who've been supporting my work and supporting me in this live stream situation, so why not use the live stream and thank my friends and fans at the same time in the release of this album. End of June, on the 29th and 30th of June, that's the weekend before 4th of July, and I will release the album in 2 parts. The album is in digital form, so first part will be the first 3 tracks, and the second part will be the next 3 tracks. And I'll field questions live as well, so live stream, so anyone can put in questions in a live chat and I will respond to them. The album again is in digital form, but if I have what I call my YouTube channel donors, it's a PayPal donation little spot. If you donate $35 and above, I will actually hand assemble a physical CD, autograph it, and mail it to you. US residents only, because postage overseas is quite exorbitant. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me about your new album. You have such an interesting and unique take on the theremin especially, and really all the genres that you draw from. It's really fascinating to listen to.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks so much for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
If you missed the live-streamed album release event on Shueh-li's YouTube page, it's still available to watch anytime. There's a link to it in this month's show notes on Theremin30.com. And you can stream and purchase the full MissOriented Metaphor album on her Bandcamp page. I have the link for that too. Now let's finish the show with a track from MissOriented Metaphor. This is called Calor, which is the Spanish word for heat. Shueh-li tells me this part of her concerto was inspired in part by flamenco music. It's time to thank Veronique, Overlanders, Kepa Lehtinen, and Shueh-li Ong for sharing their music with us this month. Please support these artists by following them on social media, streaming or downloading their music, and attending their live performances. Also, thanks to Shueh-li Ong for being my guest this month. And as always, a special thanks to the listeners who help me cover my expenses with small one-time or monthly donations. If you'd like to help out, go to the Theremin 30 website and look for the tip jar. While you're there, check out the library of past episodes for more great theremin music from around the world. I'll be back soon with another episode. Until then, I'll see you somewhere in the ether.
You've been listening to the Theremin 30 podcast. Visit Theremin 30 on the web at theremin30.com.